St. Lucia, the alpha of radio.
It's now time for Meet the Minister, hosted by Terence Fenelon. Mr. Fenelon, good to see you again. Good morning.
Good morning, Brother Andre. It's nice to be here, Andre. We missed last week. There was the inclement weather. Mm-hmm. The minister was caught up in Beaufort. There was stuff he had to do. So we missed. Let me say good morning to our listeners, our viewers. Facebook. If you go to Facebook, it's Rev-Up Slu Live. Mm-hmm. For those who have queries, and especially our friends in Soufrière. Yes, we have to do that. And it's 95.9 now, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right, 95.9 FM.
95.9 FM. You know, you're solid as a rock there. All right, so let me say good morning again to everyone on Facebook, X, YouTube.
We're also online.
Andre has everything covered, you know.
Everything covered.
Andre, everybody is well covered, man. There's no stone that you have left unturned.
Correct.
Yeah, so let me welcome all again to Meet the Minister, fresh episode. We have with us the Minister of Health and Elder Affairs. He's also the chairman of the St. Lucia Labour Party. So we have a lot to talk about this morning. And before do I have anything to address, Andre? Usually, you know, my producer allows me 5 minutes to address issues that may have been, you know, in the air, you know, before we come to the minister.
I think the hot button issue is the Rovergate issue. Yeah,
that's dead in the water, man. Yeah, you heard the Supreme Court, not the Supreme, the judge at the CCJ.
Yes.
The illogicality of this thing. It was ill-conceived, and it was a waste of judicial, you know, resources. In other words, that case had just dead in the water. There was no case really, Andre. Absolutely no case. People just made a mountain out of nothing, and so the judges, put paid to that. That was a serious repudiation of the leader of the opposition and the former controller, you know, Chico. Listen to what is the illogicality of this. Ill-conceived and a waste of judicial resources. You could not get a harder slap than that. This was just a non-issue. A non-issue. So I'm not going to waste precious time on that, Andre, right. And stuff, you know. So, you know, milk that for you. I heard a caller talking about the removal controller. There were 3 controllers. 1, 2, 3, actually 4, who looked at the file and said that wasn't good. The first one who released the vehicle. All right, there were 2 others who told you there was nothing there. But somebody came in there. I cannot say that he used his office for malfeasance. It looked that way. Sometimes you could be doing things for political mischief. You understand? The other one came in there and there was nothing there. There was a nothing booger. And so the judges put paid to that. And let's move on. Okay. That's one less thing to worry about, Andre, and stuff. Anything else? Because I still have 10 minutes. My producer grants me that. I still have to address anything that, you know.
No, that's okay. That's the hot button issue.
Yeah, but I'm happy to hear you with Mary Polios.
Power politic.
Power politic.
Yeah, even my curl is improving.
Oh, but Andre must, and I'm very happy. You know, heard you on when she finally explained to you and you said you understood that we do not sell passports, Andre.
That's the issue.
No, people come to invest, they attain citizenship, and just like the 2 of us, when it's time to get a passport, Andre, we have to fill out our forms, bring all our documents, and go to immigration.
Yes.
Immigration looks at everything, and if things are not in order, you don't get a passport. So no passports are sold. And Andre, I'm happy to hear that you finally understood that.
Yeah,
and Andre, that's a big man, you know, who would say that. You know, when when you finally understand something, you understand that. So people who push in that narrative are we selling passports, and one person said we sold 60,000 passports. No, Andre, the data doesn't show that. The information doesn't show that. The evidence doesn't show that. And we must stop that. You know, there were 5,000 the last time Mary presented that. Number of them got approved for citizenship. And out of those, Andre, just 1,200 passports were issued, not sold, issued. There's no selling. You pay your $300 for what? I'm not even sure what's the price. What's the price? What's the cost involved?
You don't pay? You don't pay?
Yes, I pay. I cannot remember, Andre. I renewed my passport, I think, 2 years ago.
I thought maybe you're exempt. I thought maybe you're exempt.
Man, there are no exemptions, you know. I'm not even sure the minister is exempt. No, no one is exempt.
Follow the law.
You follow the law, yeah. And in the Solution of a Party, Andre, we follow the law. We always play by the books, you know. And all our candidates, Andre, they follow the law, you know. John Paul Estefan, he had to resign. You know, he gave up and he was honored last Saturday. That's why, Andre, sometimes, you know, I couldn't make this. He was honored by the Solution Teachers Union at the function for retirees. You know, we do the things the right way because we have to set the example for the young people. We cannot be flaunting the laws and then when we get in the power, we say you must obey the law. We cannot be rule breakers and law breakers and expect people, you know, to follow. You know, it's not do as I say. You have to follow, you have to live by example, Andre. Precept is important. And so, Andre, we follow the law. So not even the minister is exempt. He has to take the line like everybody else. Maybe the privilege he has, maybe he might send a driver to deliver the goods for him and stuff. But you follow the law. All right, Andre? So I just felt I should clear that up. But I was happy to hear you say you finally understood. And that's important, Andre. You see? And we are here not to spread misinformation. We are here to spread missing information. Right, Andre? That's what we do here. We give you the information that you are missing. Some people are willfully blinded. They do not want to accept, even if when the truth is staring them in the face, because, you know, it brings about cognitive dissonance. They cannot reconcile. So they just stick to the point. No, we are here to present to you missing information. Not misinformation or disinformation, propaganda and lies. We are here to give. We might make an error, yeah, because sometimes Andre might say 16,000 instead of 15,000. Say, you lie! No, that's not a deliberate thing, Andre. It's just a thing. But we want to give you the information that is missing. So, Andre, I was very happy. Mary Polius really explained that to you in Creole, and you understood that. And as you said, your Creole is improving. So, Mr. Minister,
yes,
Moses Shabatis, let me welcome you to this episode of Meet the Minister again. By the way, we are wearing pink because it's breast cancer awareness Friday.
Yeah, breast cancer awareness month. Every Friday, we're encouraged to wear pink.
Right.
I will change into a little blue maybe later in the day.
Yes.
Because it's Vive Marguerite.
Marguerite. And it's my granddaughter's birthday. You know, she's a Marguerite child.
It's the 17th.
Yeah, 17th. That's her birthday. I called her this morning. I didn't get on the phone.
But I'm a Laos, eh? I still...
With both. You straddle both.
Solidarity with
both.
I've seen you playing the tambour already.
The drums. The African drums.
As minister, I imagine you don't have much time for that anymore, right? Or you still make time to, you know, do those things, which I think is so cool.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have all of that time, but I try my very best to, whenever I get some time to still play with my friends, my Tabu Mele friends and other drummers around the island. It's really relaxing.
Yes.
And when I'm playing drums or writing poetry or reading poetry and so on, I don't know, and I'm sure all other artists and musicians and so on will say the same. You're in a different world.
Different zone.
You're in a different zone.
Yeah.
Like when you play your music.
Exactly.
No, he doesn't just play the music. He's a drummer, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why he can relate. He can relate to you because he knows that, you know. I mean, he had to go there. Kind of like him, but it's all right.
It's really nice. I mean, that's why we encourage. I mean, the Bellevue they call Creole Committee and some other partners. There was this wonderful activity yesterday where some children, the children from different schools, there was this contest, this Creole poetry contest, storytelling and so on. Beautiful.
Right.
It's good to encourage, you know, children and young people to
when they play the music.
Use their God-given talents.
Correct.
That's almost the only thing you can point out and say, God gave me that.
That's right.
You're born with something, you can understand, why do I love music, you know? Why can you write poems without formal training.
Correct.
So God gave you some talents that you don't understand yourself.
Yeah. So you
and everybody has one, eh?
And the gifts there.
Everybody has a gift. Yeah. Sometimes you just can't find it, and somebody sees it in you.
Right.
But God gave everybody a special gift.
Right. So
I think mine is the arts.
Yeah, that's a light moment there. So Andre can relate to you. You know, you all have affinity. He's a drummer. You are a drummer, so you all could understand that, you know, the timing and stuff. But do you still get to play the drums, Andre?
Well, not professionally.
Yeah, but
yes.
But you do mess around home. But that's good, you know. You could keep the timing and stuff. So maybe one of these days you're the minister. I can see the two of you are jamming somewhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're the two of you are going to be jamming somewhere.
Ready.
All right. So, Mr. Minister, you're here.
Yes.
And as I said, there's a part of your portfolio that we have hardly touched, and
Right.
I want to give you a few minutes to talk about it.
Okay.
Elder affairs.
Right.
Yeah. What developments? Well, what's the latest happening in that area? That part of
Okay,
the portfolio.
well, again, thanks very much. Good morning to our listeners and good evening wherever you are in the world. I'm very happy to be here with you again, Brother Felino and Brother Andre, and just with everybody else. I'm always happy to share information and the my thoughts and the policies of the government, and to share the direction of Honorable Philip J. Pierre. For the country and so on. When Honorable Philip J. Pierre designed the portfolio of elderly affairs, the thinking was we need to begin to focus, to have more detailed focus on older people in St. Lucia for a number of reasons. We've always been a society where we respect our grandparents and so on. Generally, I mean, you have some exceptions, but generally St. Lucians love their grandparents and their parents and so on. And the older people in society have contributed so much to this, so that we stand on their shoulders, whether we like to believe it or not. And they're the ones who really crafted the society, and they worked very hard and made the sacrifices. And a number of them have gone through certain challenges. And we believe as a government that we need to focus on older people in St. Lucia. And also the statistics. The population is aging, and more and more there's something called a pyramid, a population pyramid, and 20 years ago, 30 years ago, this pyramid was almost like a triangle with a lot of younger people at the base. Now this pyramid is kind of bulging, so the center is growing a little bigger, meaning that the average age of the population, when you look at it, it's getting into the 55, 65 and so on. And the trend, it's moving, that the trend in St. Lucia is that we are making fewer and fewer children per 100 women, or 400 births, sorry.
Right.
We have fewer and fewer children being born, and therefore our population is aging. So any sensible government or policymaker would look at that and begin to develop policies for older people in St. Lucia. So the Prime Minister created the Department of Elderly Affairs within the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs, and it was an attempt to begin to create more focused programs. What do we do within this department? Well, first of all, we have a very basic structure. We have a director, and we have officers who will be coming in. We have one officer, another officer coming in very soon, who will handle the programs in the country, and also we are responsible for the comfort-based citizens' home, and while we're not directly responsible for the other senior citizens' homes, we collaborate with them, with the management, and to ensure that there are programs for older people. But it goes beyond that. It's not just the older citizens' homes. It's what policies do we create as a country, as a nation, to deal with older people in St. Lucia, and we are very far with this. We are working with Dr. Zaisa Edmond, who's the consultant with us, to create this policy. We are almost done. So that policy will be taken to Cabinet and Parliament, so that the whole country, in fact, they're having conversations with people from different organizations, different bodies, to ask St. Lucians, how do we see older people? And what programs can we put in place for older people? The whole health aspect is very important. We know as you get older, it's more likely for you to have challenges with your health, and therefore the government is planning around that. How do we create space? How do we allocate resources in the budget to deal with the problems of older people? So we've always had organizations, Club 60 and Mrs. Charles, and so many people, private and public, who have the Retirees Association, who have helped older people in St. Lucia. But we've never had a department in the government. We've never had the Department of Equity. Part of the program was always to look at older people and their problems. But now this government is trying to create a whole department and possibly in the future a whole ministry to deal with the issues of older people. So we are well on our way.
So the 80 plus, I know that was introduced. How has that been going? Because
Well, the 80 plus program was introduced, and we focus our attention on the primary sector, so the health centers, the polyclinics. So if these people go to these centers,
Okay.
present their ID and so on, they should get all the services that are available. Sometimes they go to the health centers or the polyclinics, and certain pharmaceuticals are not available at the time. But the policy is that they should get everything. The hospitals were not in the fray as yet.
Yeah.
So what we have done, we are working with the hospitals to get all the financials in place. What would it cost us to take care of people 80 plus based on the records, based on the services of the past? And we have that now. We have almost all of that information so that the Prime Minister can allocate, so that we can say that it is cleared in the hospitals. But it has been going very well. We have had some teething problems. I must say, when we started, a number of the systems were not in place, and we've worked to fix that.
Yeah.
But it is our intention to go full steam ahead with the whole health system, and you will hear announcements about that very soon.
So that they could, these older people, especially those at the homes, the Marian home and the other homes, they have access to medicines.
Well, in fact, for a very long time, the Marian home and the other homes have been working with the ministries of health, not just in our time, but I know that the history has been different in different administrations, they've lent support to the elderly homes. What we are trying to do in the Philip JP administration is to strengthen that by leaps and bounds. And you will hear announcements in the next budget about our direction with elder care and so on in St. Lucia. So we want to create a consciousness, or to improve the consciousness of St. Lucians about the value of older people and what we can do to ensure that the lives of older people in St. Lucia, that they live better lives. I mean, we have problems. But let us put aside now the family problems and who didn't take care of who. When you speak to some younger people, they tell you, yeah, that's my father for sure, but may they take care of me. Why should I care? Yeah. We have these issues, but for now we are putting that on a side and seeing how we can deal with that with the Department of Equity. We have a lot of these issues. In the hospitals, for example, I have said so publicly many times, we have what we call in a nice way long stay patients, meaning a lot of older people come to the hospitals, they are sick, our medical professionals take care of them, but when they are ready to be discharged, we cannot find any relatives. You call all the numbers, people say they don't know these people, and there are people who have stayed at the Victoria, now OKU hospital for years, 15 years. There are people at these hospitals who are just living there, And so what we are trying to do now, both St. Jude and OKU from Victoria, and what we are working with the Department of Equity, and I really want to thank the Minister and his staff, to see how in some cases the government has had to assist by building a room on a relative's house somewhere, because they say, I don't have no space for them, I'm not taking them. So we have had to work with the families and try to see how maybe we can build a room and so on to take care of older people. So it is a big issue for us, and we are trying our very best to have a more compassionate society where we look at older, because that is where the population is going. Believe it or not, we have an aging population, and any government worth its salt like our government, we are planning for that.
Yeah, well, they said you could learn a lot about a society as by the way they treat the elderly and the old people. But you said something, and both Andre and I, our faces went, because I think I'm very well informed, and to hear you say that there are patients living at the at the hospital for over 15 years or a long time.
In some cases, but both hospitals. And you see, here is the thing, and I've said so to the doctors all the time, and they have their professionalism and their ethics and so on. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I'm an educator, agriculturalist, cultural person. And I couldn't understand, as Minister of Education for Health, why the medical professionals would not make more of a big deal about that. Yes. Because the hospitals are suffering.
Right.
And most of the doctors say to me, Minister, our job is to make sure people are well. And this thing, they try not to go and publicize these things and say, come and take your... You notice recently there's an ad that's out, a very well put together ad, explaining to people, when your relatives are discharged,
Yes.
there's an ad. So we created that ad to help again with the understanding that, listen, if you bring your relatives to the hospital, they get treatment, please, come back to take them home and so on. So, and that is a fact. A number of patients have been long stay patients at our hospitals. So you can well imagine the resources, even the beds.
Yes, because I'm about to say
the
that.
beds.
We have a problem with beds at the hospital. Can't a facility be put in place, for example, these long stay, so that they can go to places like an elderly home, like the Marian home or the Adelaide's home for the, Comfort Bay? Or so. Can that be arranged to free up the bed, so to speak?
Well,
because
yes.
you're under pressure.
Yes, in fact, that has happened in some cases. And I must thank the hospital, both St. Jude Hospital and the OKEU. They have worked in some way with Department of Equity, and we have Comfort Bay and so on. We have been able to solve some of it over the last year and so on. I know a number of patients have been moved, but we still have a few. We still have some issues. So the work is happening, but I just want to say it's a fact that we have these issues. Again, just to say that older people in St. Lucia have a lot of issues, and some of them are family issues. Yes. We know we can't solve everything, but as a society, what the government is trying to do is to ensure that in every aspect of our society, whether it be the commercial aspect, the banks and so on, can we have a system where young people just know naturally that if you are somewhere and an older person requires a seat, that kind of thing. Yes. It's going to take time, but we want to develop a society where there's more tolerance, more respect, and compassion for older people.
Okay, can I ask a quick question,
yes,
Mr. Minister? Right. Tell me, in St. Lucia, at what age are you considered to be old?
65.
65?
Yeah, 65.
Okay. So if it's 65 that you consider old, what happens between what happens between 65 and 80? Because it sounds to me like whatever programs the government has in place or plans to have in place for more people in the 80s and up. So what happens to the people like myself who are now
you're almost there
between 65 and 80? Because I'm considered old, right?
Well, the thing about it, this is what the government is trying to formulate. We do not have government-wide policies that are you can go to one place and find all of these policies for people over a certain age. Even when you look at insurance, after a particular age, medical insurance, for example, after a particular age, depending on the insurance company, if you're 65 and so on, your benefits, dwindle or your benefits stop. So what we're trying to do is to put in place, and even with the 80 plus, our intention has always been to bring this down, bring the age down, and hopefully by that time we've put together all the infrastructure, all the structures for universal health coverage, and you will not have that issue with age. So when all of the structures for universal health coverage are put in place, you're not going to have that issue when it comes to your medical needs. But as a society, we need to put these structures in place, and they are not yet in place. So that's why this government is trying to ensure that we create an environment where individuals at any age can get certain benefits. They can participate in the economy, whether you are 75 and so on. So that's where we're going.
So if, for example, I don't really qualify for anything per se between 65 and 80. Now, a guy like me, for example, I have certain talents and abilities, and maybe my talents are still required. And somebody says to me, Andre, I'd like you to do such and such a thing for me. Okay? Or right now, I'm in a position where I actually have a business. Why is it that me now, at my age, I already made my contribution as far as paying taxes is concerned. Why do I still have to pay taxes at my age?
Well,
income tax I'm talking about.
Well, the government retirees, Honorable Philip J.P. recently announced that the retirees will not be paying taxes. So it is a progressive. It's a progression in terms of the policies of our government, and you see what Honorable Philip J.P. has done with the support to the retirees. So everything is not perfect yet, but our government is moving in that direction, and your concerns are valid. Our government is moving in that direction to make things easier for retirees and people of that age.
I bring that up because, and I'm glad you're here today, especially in your portfolio as Minister for Elderly Affairs, because generally we hear things for young people, most times young people, and no problem with that. But, you know, people our age, me, Fenelon, you know, those.
You all are still very young.
Come see them, no pa, yeah. You understand?
Right.
That's how we feel.
But our government certainly, and the evidence shows that we are moving in that direction. So
because you're aware that, for example, the minute you hit 65, you're no longer entitled to receive anything from the NIC. You know that. So that means now basically you're vulnerable. If anything were to go wrong, you know, that's it for you, right? In terms of your health, right? You can't go to the NIC to get any kind of assistance. So I'm just saying to you, when people at my age now, you know, we're still doing something to make a living, you know, we shouldn't be paying taxes. And I hope your administration moves quickly, that you don't take too much time.
And
yeah,
really,
but
to
implement.
are you,
no, but that's not. I don't
Yeah,
think
what?
that's not accurate. You know.
No.
What's not
You
accurate?
just said about the NIC.
Because when you retired, okay,
Yeah.
you get an NIC. You pay
Your
your
pension.
NIC, you pay
Yeah,
it, you get
pension.
your NIC benefits.
Right, yes,
Until
Yes,
and you benefit from the medical services.
yeah, but let's be real. Let's look at what is it that people get from the
but
NIC.
we
You know,
can talk about the amount.
Yeah,
so,
but
That's why the Prime Minister, in collaboration with the NIC, caused the pension.
But Andre,
Well,
if you have on an NIC pension, let's say at the maximum, I think it's $3,000, and it will be 99. You get that until 99, you know.
yeah, but the cost of everything.
Yeah, but
is sky high.
Just recently the two increases.
The thing is that you are looking at it from a maximum point of view, right? There are people who make the minimum. You understand?
But they just got a 4.2% and a 3.9%. And
What?
I mean,
it's minuscule.
Oh,
It's
okay.
minuscule.
but that's a good
So,
update. But
so
I
that
don't
is
think what
why
you just said.
I'm saying the Minister for Elderly Affairs.
right.
He needs to take a look at those
Yeah.
issues.
Good,
all right.
good observations, Andre.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
We need extra time.
No problem. No problem. No problem. 15 minutes.
So what did you say
15.
today?
There's no free lunch.
I'll give you 15.
Especially if you're in the jug.
Especially about V4 North.
Yeah, we're coming to
let's
that.
go,
But let's deal with some health issues. And
Yeah, no
the
problem.
latest in health. And I know everybody's waiting for the big one. But
Yes.
before we come to the big one, what other initiatives that are there?
I can say again. I always like to take 2 seconds to thank the health professionals, our health aides, the porters, the security people at the health centers and hospitals, and of course the clinical staff. The doctors and the nurses and everybody, the managers at the various health centers and hospitals. Thank you for your service to this country. Thank you for all of what you do in trying circumstances, and we continue to appreciate you. Since I spoke to you the last time, a number of things have happened. We continue to roll out services, additional services. The PBF program, which looked at diabetes, hypertension, and so on, has seen a number, so many more clients. We're hitting over 12,000 clients. The other universal health coverage programs, for example, up to August of this year, we've seen over 3,061 pregnant ladies who came in to get their lab tests done free of charge. So that has increased. We've done over 4,500 ultrasounds for pregnant ladies free of charge. For the men, I'm very proud of our men now. When I came the last time, I told you our men are a little shaky, but now up to September, up to mid-September, which is the month just gone by, we've seen 1,140 men who have come to the Men Health Clinic. Prostate tests, PSA tests, we've done 1,044 PSA tests, free of charge, no payments. And what is interesting, we sent 65 clients, men, to the urologist, meaning that there were 65 of them the doctors thought needed additional care, and they didn't have to pay for that. Biopsies, which means the doctors may have seen something. Since that time, we did 11 biopsies. So I'm showing you the difference. And these services were not there before 2021. You had to pay for a lot of this. So our government is providing these services without cost to the men. Breast cancer screening. We're in Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And like you said, that's why we wear pink. Up to September of this year, we've seen 178 women who did their mammograms. at the public facilities. One, remember, there's a mammography machine at the St. Jude Hospital and one at the OKEU Hospital. 178. We did 28 breast ultrasounds. Okay, so again, it shows you an increase in services. Snake bite. Remember, I mentioned to you that we're bringing in snake bite on the universal health coverage. And since I spoke to you, 4 patients have received care. We've had 4 patients who needed that critical care. We could have had more than 4 patients with snake bites, but 4 patients have been treated under the universal health coverage.
Is the public aware of that, Mr. Minister, about the snake bites?
Yes, the public is aware, and we need to do even more awareness. But right now, which was not the case before, if you get bitten by the fedelans, all of your treatment is free under universal health coverage. That was not the case before.
Where is that available? Both North and South?
The hospitals, yes. So
any hospital?
Yes. So, but there's a protocol, there's a procedure. If you're bitten by a snake and you go to the nearest wellness center, the doctors, the nurses will know what the protocol is to get you to that care. You will not get all of the care at all the health centers.
Okay.
There are certain specialized care procedures that you will get. It's just to show you the increase in services that this government has caused to happen. If we look at cervical cancer screening and HPV testing, we've seen up to August of this year, 4,700 women and 296 women has had to do what is called colposcopy clinics, meaning examinations with our new machines. 296, and biopsies, meaning that the doctors felt maybe you needed some additional investigations. We've had 25 biopsies done. So all of these without any cost to the patient. All of these are new figures.
These are costs borne by the government.
Yes, the government is paying for that. And when I hear, the other side say, "Boy, healthcare, you have less things, worse things," none of these services were available free. You had pap smears in cervical cancer and HPV testing. You had these already. But right now, we've introduced new services, and we can quantify these services. There was breast cancer examination, of course, but right now we have expanded it to do mammograms at the St. Jude Hospital, and all of these things help to the doctors and the nurses better diagnosis and give St. Lucians a better chance. Okay, give St. Lucians a better chance. We are now having discussions for other kinds of screenings, and you will hear about them.
Okay.
Colon cancer, for example, we are preparing to launch services in colon cancer screening, colorectal cancer screening. So that again, you would have to pay if we did not have these services. The government is paying the private sector, and the private sector is involved, meaning the doctors in the private clinics and so on. We have not kept them out, so the government is paying them for that service.
Okay.
Another thing I want to say, we introduced an internist in Dr. St. Rose, an internist in the south of St. Lucia. So that service is also available. And since we spoke, we have confirmed 14 positions of DMOs, district medical officers, and so on within the ministry. Confirmed them. They were on contract before, so the government has confirmed those positions.
They're permanent now.
Yes, meaning these are permanent positions. Yes. Again, adding to the range of medical services that and the number of people. Another thing that happened since I came here the last time, the government is paying some of the tuition for the nurses.
Yes.
Which will help us hopefully to keep more of our nurses in St. Lucia.
I will not give anybody a wrong injection.
Yes, well, yeah. I mean, our nurses are great.
Great, yeah.
I mean, when I hear people talk about these things, the criticisms and so on, they are working very hard under trying circumstances, and we have resource constraints. We have human resource constraints, all kinds of constraints. But our government is showing that we are given even more resources than ever before to our nurses, our hospitals, our doctors, so that these people can do what they have to do. Everything is not perfect. Yeah. We have far to go. But we are putting in. There's so much.
What about because you heard the opposition talking about, you don't have Panadol and stuff. I know the investment of the contribution towards paying down the payables. How is that now? I mean, is there any truth to this nonsense about no medication.
Our government has invested more money in pharmaceuticals, the payment of companies for the OECS, PPS. We have invested more money than ever before to pay for pharmaceuticals. There are situations where patients will go to the health center and a particular pharmaceutical is not available. There are situations like that. There are situations at the hospital, a particular pharmaceutical may not be available, and every time this happens, our professionals do their very best to access it from another source market or to make sure that the procurement process is improved. So the thing is, we do have problems. We do have issues in the whole health system. We do have issues. But our government has demonstrated that where there are issues, we put more resources, we put more effort into improving the resources, and we can show that our people have greater access to services than they had before. So I'm not a minister who will go and say, oh, everything is perfect and everything is good. No, we have issues. But the difference between our government and them is that our government can show leadership in providing greater finances to the St. Jude Hospital, greater finances to the OKEU, from $31 million when Victoria Hospital moved to OKEU. And the year after that, if you look at the budget, and that information is verifiable, you can look at the amounts that they put to OKEU and look at the amounts that Honorable Philip J. Pierre allocated, from $31.9 million thereabout in 2020-21 to $70 million in the last budget, meaning that the hospitals have been underfunded, and we know that. And so what we are trying to do is to incrementally allocate resources to the hospitals so that they can do what they have to do. We still have to do more, but we have to do it with a financing model that's going to be sustainable. And that's the other thing we are working on. You hear about $75,000 for insurance card. Everybody will have a card for $75,000. The last government had no policy. What they were doing, they were searching for policies and searching for answers from private insurance companies. That's what they did. They asked this insurance company, tell us how much would we have to pay you per family if we had a $75 card. This insurance company, so that insurance company say, maybe for every family you have to pay me $5,000. Maybe. So they like now, they always woulda do, coulda do. They were talking about it. They were supposed to have had a white paper on it and all that kind of thing, but they never did anything about it. They went to insurance companies. Insurance companies would say, okay, you give me X amount, $5,000 per family, $2,000 per individual. But the last government did not have a definitive response to the health financing issues. What's the difference between them and us? We have a definitive response. We have not finalized it, but we have a definitive response. And the response is, we are going to have a combination of government-funded services and insurance-funded services. A combination. I've explained that in the parliament. A hybrid. I've explained it in many places. The difference between them and us, they are saying they are going to give every St. Lucian a card worth $75,000. And a private insurance company is going to take care of the medical this. What we are doing, we are setting up a universal health coverage authority. That's going to be a body, an authority, a statutory authority. And what that body will do, it will have all the information system, the personnel to filter through the requests from whether it be primary care, what pharmaceuticals the health centers need, what this thing, how much money we need to put in it, and which insurance companies are coming in. So we deal with the basic health package. So you want to go and see a doctor over there, it's going to cost $100, whatever. The basic health package, the government will deal with it. But the secondary part now, so after you've seen your doctor, the basic package, you now need to do surgery at a particular level. You now need to go to a tertiary care, a country that does heart transplants or that kind of thing. You now have another level of financing kicking in, which is the insurance companies. So we have said that we are not just giving a private insurance company to say, okay, we are covering you for for $100,000 and that's it. So when your $100,000 finishes, if you have a major accident, $100,000 will not cut it.
Yeah.
It will not cut it. $75,000. I mean, people go to Martinique all the time and they know the cost. Some of the basic procedures in Martinique is 30,000 euro. Multiply that by three.
Yeah.
That's already 100,000, 90-something thousand EC. And we have cancers. Let's talk about cancers. If you have a major stage 2, stage 3, and you have to do certain procedures, $75,000 will not begin to cut it. And a lot of basic procedures, even in St. Lucia. And Tapion is doing great work. I want to congratulate Tapion. They've reached the stage where they're putting in stents.
Yeah.
And some of these procedures, you have to go to Martinique and the
yes.
US. And our doctors in Tapion, they are doing that now.
And I understand neurosurgeon there is able to,
Well,
the brain and
the
stuff.
neurosurgery thing is another level again.
Yes,
so our doctors in St. Lucia, our professionals are doing well. It's the financing. How do our people pay for it? So when the UWP comes and says, oh, they flash in a $75,000 thing, first of all, they don't tell you
they cannot
how they're going to pay for it.
Yes.
And secondly, for the kind of care we need in St. Lucia, that does not cut it. Our model shows you that we'll have an authority. That authority will ensure that the basic level of services that everybody, you're going to have a package. Every year you must do your colon cancer treatment, you must do this, not treatment, but diagnosis. All of this will cost a certain amount, the government will take care of it.
Yeah.
When you go to the next stage, you are hospitalized. You are hospitalized. You are hospitalized for 3 weeks or 2 weeks. Can that same thing take care of it? No, we'll take it to a next level. Okay, and we already spoken to insurance companies. Everybody's excited, and we are going to get this done.
All
So
right.
our plan is different to the foolishness that they're trying to fool people with.
That they cannot explain themselves.
They can't explain it, and they were talking about it from since the last government,
Yeah.
and they have not done it. They will not do it. It is not what our people need.
Let me ask you, because Ambassador Pell is listening, the Milagro, the Cuban eye care, where are we on that? Just take a minute on that. Where are we on that? And the surgery.
Well, the surgeries, all I want to say is I'm very pleased with the progress. I want to leave we have taken a policy decision on how we are going to address the public on it. So I'm going to promise the public that on Sunday you will get a formal response, not from me, from the professionals first. And on Monday I'm going to address the press on what's happening at Victoria Hospital. I know many people in the public know already, but I prefer to do it that way.
All right, so
all I want to tell you is I'm very happy.
all right. Well, a lot of us are happy, Now,
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm sorry to disturb you. Is the government getting any pressure from the U.S. as far as the Cuban healthcare program is concerned that we have in St. Lucia? Any pressure from the government?
I'll not call it pressure. It's publicly, it's known publicly that all of the Caribbean islands have been written to by the officials of the United States to express the concerns of the United States about human trafficking and so on, and they just want to ensure that our program does not fit their description of what it is, and we have provided the responses. We pay our Cuban professionals directly, and they ask for some more explanations, and we, through the Department of External Affairs, we are giving the U.S. We are cooperating fully because we know that we are not within the description of this human trafficking.
All right.
But we do understand the concerns, and we are cooperating fully.
Okay, just let me recap there. So on Monday, you're going to be addressing the nation. Well,
No, not address, but on Monday.
You're going to be a formal.
But before that, the technical,
People.
the CMO, and then we'll
Now,
give it.
let's go to the big one.
Yes.
Let's tease our public, because the contractor has been teasing the public. I
Right.
think you are aware of that.
Yes.
Every now and then he releases information and he
Yes,
shows
yes.
pictures and updates, and they look superb.
Right.
St. Jude Hospital.
St. Jude Hospital is going to be opened formally. It will be open. We are preparing for that, and the transitioning team is preparing for that, and the officials are preparing for that. You would have seen in the public that the staff, various representatives of the St. Jude Hospital staff, they have gone there to see so that they can understand the flow, the processes, and so on. A number of the rooms are ready, the dialysis, and so many of the rooms are ready to be occupied. I know the contractor was working on the roads, the circular roads all around. Some of them have been completed, and we are looking forward very soon to the formal opening of the St. Jude Hospital. Like the OKEU Hospital, the professionals are working on the transitioning of the hospital. Some of we still have some equipment, which is not. We still have some equipment on the way. A lot of the supplies, equipment, and so on are here, being installed. But the contractor did explain that there were some issues with the shipping and so on, with the ports in Jamaica and so on and other places. So some of the equipment is delayed, but on the way. But the hospital itself will be ready, and the transitioning process will take place. When the equipment comes, the medical professionals will have to, the suppliers of the equipment obviously have to go through certain processes with them and so on. But we are going to open the hospital, and it's going to be a glorious day. I don't want to say too much now, but we are a government of action, and Honorable Philip JP always tells us that don't talk too much, do the work and then talk. Yes. So it is coming, and I'm very, very excited about the possibilities.
You say the team to transition. Would that be Cayman City or some foreigners or locals?
No, definitely. The transitioning team is made up of St. Lucians from different parts of the government. The hospital, obviously, with advice from professionals who did the transitioning of Victoria to OKEU. There are one or two individuals there. There are individuals from the Office of the Prime Minister, Mr. Michael Willius and others. There are, various professionals, and they have been working to ensure that we have a smooth transition.
So we will not be paying anything like $1 million a month.
No, we will not be paying.
No. For transitioning.
No, we will not be paying.
All right. Now, you are the chairman of the party. Before we go to Beaufort North, I mean, we have had some tremendous luncheons, and Sundays we say the last. I like to say the one before the last, because to me the next luncheon will be the opening of St. Jude, the last one. But be that as me, you are about to launch KIFO. What has been your impression so far about the luncheons, and just give us some insight as to what's going to happen on Sunday?
Well, Sunday, I am, I'm very happy that once again we have found an exciting candidate, a candidate who is connected to the communities in Choiseul, a candidate who is obviously from the belly of the community, and who shares the values of the Choiseul community, and we are very excited about that. We believe Brother Kifo, as we call him, Kitson Charles, will bring home the seat. We see a lot of excitement among the voters in Choiseul who believe that Brother Kifo brings something new, some new qualities and the connections within the community. And we believe he's going to bring home the seat. You speak about launchings, and the St. Lucia Labour Party prides itself on organization, on ensuring that we do things at a particular standard. And you see the launchings thanks to Brother Leo Clark, the General Secretary, and his whole team, the local teams from the various executives, whether it's Babuno Executive or Dr. Shanda and so on. So we want to thank them at the level of the constituency group for all of the work that they're doing. Brother Leo and his team, he has a very big team, and they wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, go to bed midnight, just to ensure that things are in place. The supporters who come out, and just patriotic St. Lucians who want to see what's happening. We see the thousands of people who come to our launchings. They come to understand what their party is doing. And people who are not members of our party but who love what the government is doing, they come and they are in awe. Not because of the theatrics and so on, because of the messages and because of the energy. You see supporters and people, there's a vibe, there's a kind of anticipation. And that's what I take away from these launchings, in addition to thanking God for the sacrifices of the candidates and their families, and thanking them for coming to serve the people. You can see there's an excitement, and that excitement we know will take us into the elections, because the launchings are kind of precursor and it's in addition to what's happening on the ground every single day, whether it be combing the voters list, whether it be going house to house, whether it be just talking to people on the bus. We get the impression that there's a vibe in St. Lucia. People are talking. Yes, the opposition is there, and
making noise.
They're doing their thing and so on, but these launchings give you a vibe that people are not paying too much attention to the negativity of the opposition, and just listen to the Prime Minister every time he takes the stage. Comrades, my brothers and sisters, I love you. I love you. Compare that to what you heard on the other side.
Wake up, vex.
You know,
Be angry.
Wake up, vex. Be angry. It's war. And Julian Slu and disrespect. A lot of disrespect and anger at St. Lucian's. But our party, we speak of love and we speak of togetherness and don't give mépris and just speak your truth.
That's right.
Very different. So the launchings are a kind of crucible where all of these energies come together in anticipation of the work that must be done on the ground to bring home the victory. So I'm very excited, and again, it's the work of so many soldiers on the ground who are causing that to happen.
I must say, the platform, the messaging is very positive. It focuses on the achievements.
That's right.
What has been done, what is being done, and hopefully what is going to be done in the future. Let's go to Vieux-Fort North.
Yeah, we should have started.
I don't
we should have started with Vieux-Fort North.
I don't want you to snitch. I don't want you to snitch because I don't want you to slip. But we're in your constituency now. Well, I mean, that is the floor is yours now.
Yeah, well, I just want to thank the Holy Spirit and thank all those who have been at my side since 2006 when I entered parliamentary politics. I was in politics for a long time, but parliamentary politics. I want to thank all of them. I really want to thank my family, my wife, my daughter, who have obviously, for every candidate, your family takes the first and more sustained brunt of all of the attacks and all of the sacrifices. And I want to thank all those, my constituency group, the various chairpersons and those who work with me at the office and so on, those who have worked with me before. I just want to thank everyone for the sacrifices that they've made, because we are not alone in this thing. We may not always agree on things, but we're not alone in this. We have a whole set of people who work. Those you don't see in the launchings are on their knees praying, especially the older people praying for me. I want to thank you, because without that I will not survive. I will not survive at all. So, I mean, we think of these elections, the elections coming, whether it's anytime before July. And in Vieux-Fort North, the campaign is about positivity and to look at what we have achieved since 2021. We can go way back from 2011 to 2016 and now in 2021. For although I entered parliamentary politics in 2006, I've only served in a government twice. 4.5 years in 2011 to 2016 and now 2021. The other times I've been in opposition. And when we've been in opposition, we got nothing from the government. So, so I really want to thank this time Honorable Philip J. Pierre, Prime Minister, for really coming to the aid of Vieux-Fort North. We've been able to solve some of our problems and we are on the way. And I want to thank him. Our major problem has always been roads in Vieux-Fort North. Roads. We started a major road from Opicon to Bellevue when we were in government the last time. We lost the government and the next government never continued. From Zabo to Bellevue, we have now completed that. The Grace Road, for example, which is where most of my family, a lot of my family is from. I can say I can tell you I'm from Grace. I spend a lot of time in Vieux-Fort South going to school and so on. But Grace is really my place. And that road, patching over the decades, but that particular road in Grace has never, ever been totally rehabilitated. And I'm very happy that right now we are rehabilitating the Grace Road. That road, we are starting from the boundary of Vieux-Fort North, which is the Monbeau-Séjour Road, going up, and the other part of it is in the DSH confusion. And we are about to patch it just to keep it going until that DSH confusion is solved. And I'm very pleased that we are constructing that road in Grace. We still have some challenges with the canals to Vigier Road. That's another road that needs rehabilitation, and we have started the work there. The major works will continue very soon. In terms of roads, there are many other roads that we have tackled in the various communities, and I'm very pleased and happy that the Prime Minister has held the hands of the people of Vieux-Fort North to do that. We can talk about other things. We are about to rehabilitate the Grace Wellness Center, the health center, complete rehabilitation. In Bellevue, we have rehabilitated the Bellevue playing field. All the work is not complete. That work was delayed for a number of reasons. The ground is a big challenge in terms of the soil and so on. But we are about to host Junior Creole and the lights are there working and everything. We're going to use our lights, and we continue work on the Bellevue playing field, and we're going to build new toilets and so on. That will start very soon. The Piro playing field, right now as we speak, lights are being installed on the Piro playing field, and we have the Moncayan playing field, the Opiko, and the Vigé playing field. These playing fields will receive some attention now, but the major attention in the future. But we are trying to see how best we can begin the rehabilitation. So infrastructure, the Piro Primary School, I promised the people of Vieux-Fort North, the people of Piro, that in 2021, if we win the election, we are going to rehabilitate the Piro School. And right now, if you go to the Piro School, as I speak, people from Piro, those who have not seen it, you go there, and we are building a brand new block. They are almost finished. Brand new block. The Grace School needs a new block also. I cannot tell you that we were going to build a complete new block before Honorable Philip J.P. calls the elections between now and July, but we are making plans to build a brand new block for the Grace School also. Vigé, the Vigé community is a very important community in terms of the amount of government lands and the possibilities that are there. So we see the Vigé community as a place of serenity, where we are hoping to have a large camping site, use government lands to build a national camping site. So you just imagine people from St. Lucia and all the region coming to that community of Vigé, quiet, you want peace of mind and so on. And we are going to build facilities so that people can have major camps. That will bring economic activity to the community, because it's a very wonderful community. The Vigé School, which was built by Cecil Lay and the Labour Party, that school needs some rehabilitation also. And the other aspects of our work has to do with the social aspects of our work, the social aspects, the hundreds of parents who have received bursaries, support for their children, the hundreds of people who have received medical care and who have received medical support, the hundreds of young people who have received scholarships and help for school directly. And the people of Vieux-Fort North have benefited. The one scholarship per family, the one graduate per household. Yeah. We have a number of young people from Vieux-Fort North who are benefited, who are now at Monroe College doing the one graduate per household. Scholarships to Taiwan and Cuba and so on. A number of people from Vieux-Fort North have benefited from that. And we can also see the housing in the whole Opicon area. We have a problem with squatting, and the NIS lands and the Invest St. Lucia lands and the Proud lands. We are going to ensure that we make these lands available. The NIS will have its own private arrangements, because that land does not belong to government. And we are going to make the arrangements with the NIC, not NIS, NIC, so that people get proper, they'll do a proper housing project. That's their intention. So we see land use and housing as a major imperative for the people of Vieux-Fort North. Proud. And very soon, the Minister, Honorable Richard Frederick, let me thank him for his work in housing and the assistance we've given to house repair, for the house repair program in Vieux-Fort North. We are going to see people who have lived on the lands in Vieux-Fort North, on government lands, for 30 years and over, getting the deed free, without payment, while we make arrangements for the other individuals who have been living there for less than 30 years. So I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about the possibilities around each playing field. We are hoping that we will have playgrounds. The Piro, to the east of the Piro playing field, is a wonderful area. Many individuals have suggested to me that we do a playground for children, for families, and that we are hoping to do. If you look at the Grace playing field, we have started to beautify it. Just last week, we planted some more trees, and we are going to, with the help of the NIC, have an outdoor gym, both at Grace and at Piro, and the other outdoor gyms are coming. And if you look at the whole profile in terms of health, we are going to ensure that community groups and community organizations come in with the government to have a structured program for health prevention. Because all of what we're talking about, not only in Vieux-Fort North, but in the country, we are realizing, and we know based on our data and our statistics, that our health profile, our health status in communities is the bedrock of development, if we want to push our communities, we must take care of that. You know, the non-communicable diseases. What can we do within Bellevue and Pierre and Grace and Vijay, Kako, Savans, all the areas? What can we do to ensure that our young people, our older people, get better access to areas to exercise? We educate them with awareness, and that too will be part of our continuing work as we go along. The campaign our campaign is very, very strong. We are doing our work on the voters list. We are doing our work to get ready for the elections, as I guess any other candidate is doing. But I am encouraging, especially the young people, not to listen to the voice of the people who are against development in VA4 North. I don't speak about them at all. They are against development in VA4 North. They are against the people of VA4 North. And all you have to do is to take the evidence of their own words. I don't even have to talk about them. I don't. Just take the evidence of their own words. You see what they've said to the young people. You see how they have characterized our young men. You see, all of the intention is negativity, violence, and trying to picture or create a picture of the people of VA4 North as if young men are violent and young men are no good. I say to the young men, come to us. Come to the St. Lucia Labour Party. We have a plan for you. The youth economy, and many of them have benefited from it. Just this morning, I spoke to a few young men who came around my home. They are working now, and they're trying to set up themselves so that they can open their own little business. That is what I bring to the young men of VA4 North, the young ladies, and everyone who want to advance themselves. The evidence is there. Our party has helped. In VA4 North, we have a program of assistance to micro entrepreneurs, where with the assistance of the government and people of Taiwan, and I want to thank Ambassador of Taiwan and their other ambassadors who pass, and every year we send proposals to them, and they assist us with purchasing appliances, whether it be cookers or hairdressing sets, the chairs, barber things, whether it be whatever. And every year we have a ceremony, a public ceremony, and we are going to have one in the next 4 weeks or so, to give young people of VA4 North, older people who are roasting the thing by the road, but they want a modern cooker and so on. That's the kind of thing I present to the people of VA4 North, not violence and telling them that they're criminals and that kind of thing. No, the Labour Party brings to the people of VA4 North opportunities, and that's what I present. Opportunities for everyone: the older people, the younger people, the men, the women, the sports people. Opportunities. That is what we bring. I've given you a little idea of what the future will be. But right now, you can already see in VA4 North the work of the St. Lucia Labour Party. And for me, I want the typical person from VA4 North to be well educated, well trained, and hungry for opportunities. That is what I want. When I speak to somebody from VA4 North, I just want to know that's the kind of person they are. They are hungry for education. They are hungry for opportunities. They want to work hard. They serve their God. They are peaceful, and everything in my power I'll do to help them to do that. So I want to ask, as we close, I know
we have to take all this to close.
I want to continue.
Yeah.
You have a question for me?
No. We have to open up to the public. Andre, you could give the numbers, because, Mr. Minister, it would be remiss of us. You know the kind of pressure I'll be under, and you will be under.
Yes,
we do not take a call from the public.
No problem.
So you need to put on your headphones. Andre will give you the numbers. And
I just have so many things to say.
I know. We have the time is limited, but let's Andre release the numbers, call out the numbers, and let's see what's
okay. The fixed line is 572-9710 or WhatsApp 287-0971. We have somebody on the WhatsApp platform.
Already? Mm-hmm. All right. Good morning. Thanks for calling me, the minister. Let's have your question.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Minister.
Sorry. Wait, 1 minute. Sorry. Yeah. All right, go ahead, sir. Thanks.
Yeah, morning, Minister and Mr. Felina.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
What I want you all to do, you are not doing. You all must have a poster and draw the star and the line to show the people how to vote. And tell the people in all your meetings, tell the people, especially on Sunday, tell the people they must be registered for them to vote. It's not a matter of the big crowd, There are a lot of people that join the bandwagon, just come here and have a good time. But when you need them to go and register to vote, you have to tell them their name, check their name on the list, because they have the books all over in schools and health centers. Tell them that.
All right, yeah, we got that. Thank you.
Okay, that's a
Very good point. Very good point. Thank you very much. Let's take the other question.
Yes.
Next caller, let's have your question, please.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Minister.
Good morning. How are you?
Morning.
Yeah, mine is not really a question, but I just want, you spoke about Club 60s, right? A lot of people believe that they have to be 60 years to be in a Club 60. I am the first vice president of HelpAge. I'm St. Lucia Council of and for Older Persons. Now, it is not that we want people to be in the Club 60 young enough to meddle with the older people, to help those who are older than us. So it is not just Club 60 and you have to be 60. So we need a lot of young people to join in so that we can take care of the elderly.
All right.
So, Mr. Minister, I'm glad that you spoke about the older people, and we want a lot more to be done we want at least to have a Club 60 in every constituency, in every area, so that then the work of the Ministry of Health and Elderly would be much easier when the Club 60s are consulted.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks very much.
All right.
Very good point.
Thank you. Let's take the other call, Andre. Good morning. Thanks for calling me, the minister. Let's have your question, please.
Good morning, Andre. Good morning, Mr. Minister. Good morning, Mr. Felino.
Good morning,
sir.
Thanks for accepting my call.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Mr. Minister, after the opening of St. Jude Hospital, state of the art, I love it. Will there be a breathing space for the Dennery Hospital where the staff and patients will transfer to St. Jude Hospital, and then you can build a state of the art polyclinic in Dennery, please?
All right, thank you.
That's a very good question. In fact, the plans and financing for the refurbishment of the Dennery Hospital, these plans are there, and the financing is actually, the financing has been identified. The officials are in discussions, and the decision has to be whether there's enough space to build another section, or whether we rehabilitate what's already there. That decision, that final decision, is we're talking about it, discussing it. The technical staff, meaning the engineers and the doctors and the health aides and all of these people, have to be part of that discussion so we can make a decision. But you are correct. The government is clearly, the Dennery Hospital is one of the major facilities which must be rehabilitated, because what we want is to ensure that we have improved quality service at the Dennery Hospital on the east, and then you go to the Soufrière Hospital on the west. In fact, Soufrière, the idea there is for a new hospital, but meanwhile we have improved the services at the Soufrière Hospital, new lab procedures and all kinds of things there. We have done that since we came into office. And then we have the north, the Grosile Polyclinic. We are adding structures to the Grosile Polyclinic. If you go there now, you'll see it, so that we have a 24-hour facility. And then we have the St. Jude Hospital in the south, and we are going to advance the idea of a polyclinic for Vieux Fort, not just the Vieux Fort Health Center, a polyclinic in addition to the St. Jude Hospital. Because let me just quickly say, you know that for a long time in St. Lucia, I guess other Caribbean islands too, the hospitals have also become a primary care facility. So somebody has a basic thing, they run to the hospital. That really should not be. The hospitals should be the secondary facility where the doctors and the staff concentrate on certain secondary situations. And our polyclinics and our health centers should be so well equipped and with well-trained staff, and some of them going 24 hours, so that you ease the pressure on the professionals at the hospital so they can do their work more, they can be more focused. So yes, the Dennery Hospital is down for rehabilitation.
I'll take two more calls.
Andrea has put his foot down and says two more calls. So Good morning. Thanks for calling me, the minister.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, morning.
Yes, good morning, Minister. Good morning, Andrea and Terry.
Good morning.
Morning.
I really want to commend. I'm a breast cancer survivor for 7 years and had to go through a rigorous regime. And I want to commend the government of St. Lucia for the thrust towards preventing or reducing the prevalence of breast cancer and the other cancers. And by providing the mammograms and sonograms and other things. But I think what we also need to let the public know is the true cost of these services, because we can take them for granted that, they're free and, we don't see the value of it. So I think there should be greater emphasis. I note the minister referred to some of the costs in euros and so on for some of the services. But we need to actually show the value of these services, the cost of these services, against us getting them free of charge, so that we can appreciate what the government is doing by providing these additional services. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a great suggestion, because I think because we are policy people and politicians too, we focus on the numbers. So 4,000 people have received it, so we say yes, great. But that you see what the caller has said there, very, very important.
Yes.
So caller, thank you very much. I will immediately, as soon as I leave the program, speak to our technical people, because I know they have the cost. We've spoken about them in the ministry, and every time we meet the doctors and the professionals, they give me the exact cost, so I know. So thanks very much. I will include it.
Final call?
Final call. Yes. Good morning. Thanks for calling.
Andre,
Yes.
Andre, good morning.
Morning,
Good
sir.
morning.
Good morning, Musa. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Musa, I was telling you that remember you met a young lady in New York a couple years ago who tell you that she wants to make a contribution to St. Lucia where healthcare is concerned.
Yes, at the meeting with at the Solution
That was my
Center.
sister.
Right.
That was my sister, and every day she's troubling me. That offer is still open because she's a cytologist. She also do research in cancer, and she said to me that in this day and age, no woman should be dying out of breast cancer and cervical cancer. And she has never participated in St. Lucian society problems and all, but because of the way she has read that you all are heading on the right direction when it comes to healthcare. She wants to come to St. Lucia to help in that regard. She wants to offer her services in that regard. She's working in one of the biggest hospitals in New York where cancer is concerned. But she wants to come back to give back to her motherland. And she's been asking me, when is the minister going to contact her? When is the minister, because she met both you and Alva Baptiste.
Right.
She wants to come give her services in that regard. She wants to come help women. She have asked me, can they set up a workshop? She don't mind giving her services for free. She don't mind. It's just that she wants to help women. She wants to meet with the nurses. She wants to meet with women. She wants to do so much to just give back to her country. So she's telling me that offer is still open. So I'm just letting you know that.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, sir.
I remember the young lady, and what we're trying to do, let me just explain. We are getting so many individuals from different countries, St. Lucians, who want to assist. What we're trying to do is to create a mechanism whereby these individuals can channel, can work with someone who can channel all of these offers in a good way. But I will try my very best over the next week to attempt to contact the lady and put her in contact with our people at the ministry.
Andre, I want to thank you this morning.
Thank you very much.
Brother Musa, let me call you Brother Musa now.
Yes,
Remember,
yes.
No, Sunday, is our reunion,
I've been absent,
I
know, but I'm
so
sorry.
I want to, this has been spearheaded by Comrade George Shalmine. Brother George, and Joe and Hippolyte and the rest.
We went to Teachers College
together,
Yeah.
So we're having a reunion on Sunday. It coincides with, it clashes with lodging, but I will do it first, go to the church service, and then afterwards head down to Choiseul. But I want to thank you. This program has been very informative. I know we we still have a lot to talk about.
Yes, yes.
I mean, the achievements of the government.
You have about 8 calls actually that were missed.
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
That
Sorry
was
about
just
that.
on one platform.
One
We had
platform.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so Mr.
Andre, I
Minister,
know
you-
it's very. They really, we really must come back at some point and discuss now. It doesn't have to be health, just because as chairman of the party, you are okay with the achievements of the government, because we, as I said, we're not here to spread misinformation. We are here to give missing information.
That's right. That's right.
And that is going to be our every now and then Andre wants me to do the program by myself, but Andre is not paying the bills.
Neither am I the producer.
You are not the producer either.
Yeah. But I just want to quickly, before we end, thank you and thank Andrea and
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank the Holy Spirit and thank my family again and all those who work with me in the constituency, all my constituents. Vieux thank you very much. I love you. I love you. I love you. And we are going to work together to win the seat again. I'm asking my people for their vote again, because we have a lot of work to do. And please, the last thing I will say, do not take on the negativity. Don't quarrel with anybody.
That's right.
Just know your truth. Know what you're going to do. Encourage people to vote for us. Don't quarrel with anybody. Let them do the cursing and all the negativity. Pray hard and let's work hard, and we're going to win.
We will not snitch because we don't want to slip.
No, we're not in that.
So, Andre, let me thank the listeners, the viewers, and we shall meet again next Friday for another episode of
Meet the Minister.
Yeah,
thank you,
very
Mr.
much.
Terence Villanon. Thank you, Mr. Minister. Thank you very much. Well, this is where I end my stint here on Rev-Up for today, Friday, the 17th of October. Thanks for listening and thanks for viewing. We have Kina coming on next. She'll be with you until 3 this afternoon, 3 o'clock until 5. As always, Zen the DJ. Then from 5 until 6 is going to be Powell Politic with Mary Polius. So do enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have yourself a great weekend. Andre Paul saying so long.